With example 7, sketch the following graph showing all the intercepts. I'm going to do each graph on its own paper, but I'll just do one video. So for A, y equals x minus 2, x minus 1, x plus 1, x plus 3. What I'm going to do is first going to make sure is A positive or negative. X times x times x times x is all positive, so positive A, which means if I draw my graph, it finishes and ends where y is positive. So it's there and there, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the shape of it. The next thing is to find the y-intercept. Y-intercept is where x equals 0. So if x is 0, it's going to be, y is going to be, if x is 0, it is going to be a negative 2. Multiply by negative 1. Multiply by 1, multiply by 3. So negative times negative is positive. 2 times 1 is 2, times 1 is 2, times 3 is 6. So my y-intercept is at 6. And my x-intercept is where y is 0. Therefore, x is going to equal, for this to be 0, x equals the opposite of negative 2, which is 2, or x equals, opposite of minus 1 is positive 1, or x equals negative 1, or x equals negative 3. So if I want to draw the graph of that, this is how the graph is going to look like. My y-intercept is plus 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up there 6. My x-intercept is at 1, and at 2, and at negative 1, and at negative 3. It's positive, so it starts at the top. It's going to go through there, turn, go through there, go through there, through there, and through there. I'm just going to put these values there. I'm going to say negative 3, negative 1, 1, and 2, and that is 6. That is how my graph will look like. The next graph is this one, y equals x minus 3 squared times x plus 1, x plus 5. What is A? X squared is positive, times x is positive, times x is positive. So it's positive x, which means it's starting there and finishing there. So it's got this shape. I'm going to say my y-intercept is where x equals 0, which means y is going to be, this is 0. If x is 0, it's going to be minus 3 squared, multiplied by 1, multiplied by 5. And that equals minus 3 times minus 3 is 9, times 1 is 9, times 5 is 45. X-intercepts is where y equals 0, which means if there's a square, it means it's a turning point. So that means x equals positive 3, because for this thing to be 0, x needs to be 3. And I'm going to write it twice, 3 or 3, or that needs, for that to be 0, x needs to be negative 1, or x equals negative 5. So if I draw my graph of that, my y-intercept is at positive 45, so it's up there at positive 45. It's going to turn on 3, so it's 1, 2, 3. It's going to turn on 3. It's going to turn at negative, not turn, it's going to intercept at negative 1, and it's going to intercept at negative 5. If I start at the top, if I have to have this shape, and it needs to turn on that point, it turns there. It can turn before, I don't know, it's probably going to turn before, go to 45, intercepts there, intercept there. So that is the shape. This is at 3 because it turns on 3. it turns at -1, and it turns at -5. Just take note, your graph can look anything like, it can even look like, as long as it turned there, turn there, turn there, and turn there, as long as that, and that is the same, this shape can be either going to be smaller or it can even be bigger. So even if you do something like this, as long as we have all those points the same, any one of those would do. Our last graph will be the C one, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say y equals 1 minus 2x, x plus 1 cubed. So first of all is my A shape. I have -2, x times x times x is x cubed, times -2x is going to give me a negative, so it's going to be a -a. If it's -a, it means where y is negative, it's going to finish. So it's going to finish there, start there and finish there. So my shape is going to be like that. Okay. Cube means that there's a point of inflection. So this is a point of inflection. Point of inflection. Just to keep that in mind. Okay, so y-intercept. Y-intercept is where x equals 0. So when x equals 0, then y equals, if that is 0, it's going to be 1. Multiply if x is 0, 1 cubed. So 1 cubed is 1 times 1 is 1. So my y-intercept is 1. My x-intercepts. My x-intercept is where y equals 0. It means that this thing is 0. So 1 minus 2x equals 0. 2x goes to the other side, becomes 1 equals 2x, and then I divide by 2. So x equals 1/2, or x equals, for this thing to be 0, x equals -1. And x equals -1 is going to be my point of inflection. So if I draw that, this is how the graph's going to look like. This is going to be y, this is going to be x. It's going to intercept at y equals 1. Okay. It's going to intercept at x equals 1/2. And it's also going to have a point of inflection at -1. It needs to start here and it needs to finish there. Okay, so it's going to, I think it's going to be easier to go back. It's going to go there. It's going to turn. And then at this point, it's going to have a point of inflection. So there's my point of inflection there. It turns, comes back, and goes through there. I'm going to write my values. This is going to be x is at the half, it's at -1. This is at the half, and that point there was at 1. So that's the general shape of the graph.